Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Foreign Languages, SOFL, Bachelor's Degree Programs, Bachelor of Arts, BAG, Skill Enhancement Courses, BFLS, 183 Elementary French, Block-2, Unit-8 Chez MOI at Home, Introduction, this unit entitled Chez MOI, i.e. At home, the learner is advised to devote approximately 30 hours per unit. Aims. In this unit, you will learn the following. Week 1, 1. Giving an order advice. 2. Forbidding. 3. Expressing obligation. 4. Expressing possession. 5. Identifying someone from a given description. Oral. 6. Understanding and giving arguments. Oral. 7. Quelques chose a rien, quelques un a person. 8. Passé compose. 9. Possessive adjectives. 10. Vocabulary, colors, house, 11. Illinois fort, a devoir, week 2, 1. Understanding an email, 2. Understanding instructions, written, 3. Writing recommendations to a friend, 4. Understanding a brochure, 5. Pronouns, indirect objects me, te, Louis, law, 6. Phonetique, the pronunciation of, 7. Sounds, OE, 8. Culture, understanding and expressing views on recycling waste. This unit aims to provide the learner with the necessary tools, so that, he can give an order and advice, express possession of obligation. He can give arguments and counterarguments on specific matters. Hints to understand the text. Times this activity will be performed in the contact class. By now, you have been equipped with some linguistic tools to read the text and understand it on your own. Read the text silently and try to understand roughly what it talks about. Note that diminutives are very commonly used in French. For example, BEA is the diminutive for Beatrice. ISA Isabelle, Domi, Dominique, Gype Jean-Pierre. Here is some vocabulary to help you understand the text. Prêter equals to lend. Frigo equals fridge. For stove. Ampoule equals bulb. Ampoule grille fused bulb. Radio reveil equals radio alarm clock. Ordinateur computer. Alarme equals to switch on. Mot de passe equals password. Poubelle equals trash or garbage can. Evier equals sink. Arroser to water. Activity 1. Find out, in the list given below, the 9 rooms that one can have in a house. Hint. This activity deals with vocabulary that will help you build up your own lexicon related to the theme of the house. You must understand the difference between one maison, a house, and an apartment, a flat. Try to guess the meaning of the given words. Grainy equals the attic. Sage a living room. Activity 2. Tourne le bouton. Noir. Puis appuyer sur le bouton orange. Turn the black button, then press on the orange button, writes Isabelle. Find out, below, the 2 colors mentioned. Contact class. Hint. In this activity, you will learn the different colors in French. Try to identify the black and the orange ink pot among the small ink pots given below. Gender of the adjectives. To convert a masculine adjective into feminine, one usually adds an E at the end of the masculine form. However, if the masculine adjective already ends by an E, for example rouge, jaune, rose, orange, then they remain invariable. Adjectives like blue, vert, gris, noir will take an E in feminine, hence we will have blue, vert, noir, grise. However, there are a few exceptions, blanc, blanche. The few adjectives remain invariable. Examples: 1 chemise marron, a brown short, des poules blue cile, sky blue pullovers. Activity 3. Read these expressions and tick the suitable answer. Hints. We have studied a few forms of possessive adjectives in Course 1, Unit 3. In this section, we shall study other forms of possessive adjectives. This activity is based on the possessive numbers, taken from 2 sentences from the message on page 86. Read the 2 sentences. Now, can you infer to whom belong the garbage, poubelles, and the tickets, billets? Note that in French, the gender of a possessive adjective is influenced by the possessed object and not by the person, possessor. For X, Paul will say ma voiture, because the possessed object, voiture, car, is feminine. It is like in Hindi. Merry car, but mirror truck. Activity 4. Complete the sentences with the suitable possessive adjective. Hint: pay special attention to the subject of the sentences, then to the gender of the possessed object. For example, in sentence 1, the subject is Isabel at Jeff, third person in the plural form. The object possessed, apartment, is singular and masculine. Hence, the answer is Isabel at Jeff vont preta law apartment. To be sure that the concept of possessive adjective has been understood, we advise you to study the revision table given on page 89. Have you understood the table, le passé compose? The learner already knows this tense as we have come across it several times. In the first unit, we had Vous avez fait bon voyage, and in Unit 4, we talked about one action fini. Activity 5, observe theses sentences and answer. A. In these two sentences, the verbs are in passé compose, past tense. Give their infinitive form. Hint: passé compose is a composed tense, where there is an auxiliary followed by a past participle. B. Give the opposite, contraire, of JENI par. Hint: which type of sentence is it? How can we change the meaning of this sentence? C. Complete the rule. Le passé compose se finit avec avoir ou. AU present le participe passé du verbe. D. Write down the past participle of the verbs given below. Hint: most of the verbs which end in in the infinitive take their past participle in e. For example, parle parle, regard a regard. Most of the verbs ending in ir take their past participle in I. For example, fine fini. Lastly, infinitives ending in re take their past participle in u. Note: there are many irregular verbs. Activity 6. Observe the past participle. Find out their infinitive, then complete. Hint: in this activity, you are asked to do the opposite of what you did in the previous one. The rules understood earlier will help you answer this question. This activity is in two parts. In the first part, you have to find the infinitive, and in the second, you have to conjugate it with the given subject. As specified earlier, there are many irregular verbs which do not follow the usual rules. Some of these verbs are écrire, dire, interdire or reit, écrit, prendre, comprendre, re is prise. Connaître, apparaître, riu, connu, devoir, savoir, voir, pouvoir, devoir du, su, ouvrir, découvrir, souffrir, vrai vert, mettre, permettre, promettre, re is miss. Supplementary activity 2. Donnez les participes passés des verbes suivants. The P, offrir, contredire, apprendre, paraître, recevoir, omettre, danser, avoir, être. Activity 7. Rewrite your favorite story in the past tense passé compose. Hint: remember which auxiliary, être or avoir, to use in passé compose. Most of the verbs are conjugated with auxiliary avoir. The auxiliary être is used with the following 15 verbs: aller, venir, revenir, retourner, entrer. Rentre, sortir, monter, descender, arriver, partir, rester, passer, tumer, apparaître, naître, mourir. For ex je suis descendu, reflexive verbs, verbs pronominaux, conjugated are always conjugated with être in passé compose. Ex the passé compose of se regarder, to look at oneself. Je me suis regardé dans le miroir. I looked at myself in the mirror. Look also at the negative form of passé compose. Observe, where are the negative particles placed? Now you can start the activity. Read the text carefully first and then underline all the verbs that need to be changed to passé compose. X. Pendant des mois et des mois. France is a church, un apartment à Paris. Donna un ordre, un concealed exprimer l'obligation interdire. To perform these 3 speech acts, the learner needs to use the following forms. Imperative. The structure, devoir infinitive, the structure, Illinois fort infinitive. Activity 8. Listen to the persons who are giving orders, or are forbidding someone from doing something. Identify the speech acts and match them with following sentences. Complete the table. Hint: be done in the contact class. This activity will be done in the contact. The sentences that you will hear are frequently used in France, or any French-speaking country. For example, the first sentence of the track, is one that you usually hear in a shop. Illinois fort montre votre carte d'identité quand vous payez par chèque, i.e., you need to show your identity card whenever you pay by check. The structure here is Illinois fort montre, which means this is compulsory, a rule. You must show your identity card. Let us have a look at the new vocabulary. Fumer, to smoke, rouler, to drive, ceinture de sécurité, safety belt, réservoir, to book, autoroute, a motorway, traverser, to cross, appuyeur, to press, attendre, to wait. Do not hesitate to listen to the track, even if you have to do it several times. Activity 10. You lend your apartment to a friend, like Isabel and Jeff did. Write down a short message to this friend. Hint: his is a written activity. In the opening document of this unit, we read the message, a list of instructions left by ISA to BEA. ISA is going on holidays, and she is lending her flat to her friend. The message is to help BEA find her way in Isa's flat, so that she can have a nice stay. Now, you are in Isa's situation, in the sense that you are lending your flat to one of your friends. Write a small message to that friend, to give her some advice or instructions. As she does not know the functioning of your flat, we encourage you to be innovative in this activity, and not to copy the exact instructions that were given in the opening document. Your message should not be as long as that of ISA. We only want to see if you have understood the concepts that you have learnt until now. We expect you to write about 4 to 10 lines. QOU, pronouns relatifs, relative pronouns, are used to introduce a subordinate clause, proposition subordinate. In this section, we shall introduce 3 pronouns relatifs, qui, Q, OU. You have come across qui and OU in the earlier units, where they were used as interrogative pronouns. Example: OU habits to. Where do you stay? And qui est là? Who is here? Activity 11, A. Read the given sentences, and then complete them. Hint, dash. This activity, done in the contact class, is based on observation, which will enable you to understand the relative pronouns. Observe carefully the sentences of the first paragraph. Make sure that you understand their meaning, as you will have to use them afterwards. In the first sentence, the question to be asked is, Tu peux manger quoi? What can you eat? And the answer is des petits trucs. Tamponte. Elise. In the second sentence, qui replaces the subject. L'ampoule. In the third sentence, we need a word that indicates a place. Dans cette ville, OU habitantils. E with qui, from the message of Isabel. B. Pick out another sentence with qui, from the message of Isabel. Hint, dash. In Isabel's message, opening document, find another sentence containing qui. Which word is being replaced by qui? What you need to know. Observe these 3 sentences. 1. La fille qui marche est jolie. 2. Je regarde la fille qui tu aimes. 3. C'est la ville où tu vas vivre. Observations, dash. In the 3 sentences, there is always a noun before the relative pronoun. In the first 2, we have fille before qui and q, and in the last sentence, there is ville before ou. Therefore, we can deduce that a noun has to be present before the relative pronoun. In sentence 1, qui, replacing fille, is the subject of the verb marcher. In sentence 2, Q is replacing la fille, which is the direct object of the sentence. Je regarde qui. Tu aimes qui. The answer to both questions is, in sentence 3, OU indicates a place, it is the city where you are going to live. Activity 12, make sentences with qui, Q, OU. Page 91, hint, read the sentences first before filling in the blanks. Unless you understand the meaning of these sentences, you will not be able to do the activity. Activity 13, A. Classify these verbs in the table. Hint, this activity will be performed in the contact class. Note that some verbs are always accompanied by the preposition a. The table is divided in 2 columns: qui. Who are qui? To whom? Place each verb in the right column. We have come across theses verbs in the earlier units. B. Choose 3 questions in each column and imagine an answer. Hint: the answer to these questions will help you understand the use offer. For X question, 2 aims key. ANS, J aim mon an fan. Question, 2 pals are key. ANS, J pal a mon an fan. If there is no a after the verb, then you will not use it in your answer. Activity 14. Read the table of indirect pronouns and complete the sentences with the suitable pronoun. Study the table first. 6 different pronouns complements indirects are given in the table: me, te, lui, nous, vous, lo. They are always placed before the verb. Indirect pronouns are used with verbs given in the table placed in the right margin. Les verbes avec, are dot. Now read the sentences of the activity and understand their meaning. Comment prononcer e phonetique. In this section, through a progressive manner, you will learn about the different pronunciations of the letter E. There are some rules that regulate theses pronunciations. Activity A. Listen, repeat and write down the missing words. CD. Hint: this is a listening as well as a written. You already know the words given here. The words of the first series are important because they all contain the sound A, written as E. Dot. You have to listen carefully to the list of words and then repeat the words. Lastly, you have to complete the list in written. Note that A is a closed sound. Listen now to the second series. The accent IGNOU on EE changes its pronunciation. It is no longer a closed sound. Is pronounced E, like in chain lane. The words of the third series contain EE accent grave, OU, EE accent circumflex. Here you will hear the sound dot. Hence, in this activity the learner needs to be able to pronounce and to make the difference between A, E, dot. Activity B. Listen and answer orally. In some words the E does not bear any accent, but still we pronounce the E as Eve or 8. Why? What do you deduce? Hint: listen to each series and repeat each word carefully. Observe the words. What do the words of the first series have in common? Do the same for the other 2 series. Observe and comment. See which alphabet is placed near or around E. Dot. Perhaps you have noticed that E without accent grave is pronounced in the following cases: when E is placed before X. X example, exploit, exister, when is placed before a doubled consonant. Expel, quell, metre. The only exception is message dot, when E is placed before S, R, EE and other consonant. Exaspere, merci, Belge, activity C. A. You know these words. Place, if required, the accent aigu E, accent grave E, or the accent circumflex E. Read these words aloud. Hint: this activity is a recapitulation of the phonetic rules that you have just learnt. Since these words are very familiar to you, they will constitute an easy corpus. E mentioned rule will apply. Observe each word carefully and see if the above-mentioned rule will apply or not. Accents may not be required for all the words. B. Check your answers with the recording. Activity D. In these words, all the E given in bold are pronounced either E or. Hint: read the recapitulative table given at the bottom of the page. Look at the list of words and try to apply the phonetic rules studied until now. Here the most important thing is to be able to know if the E requires an accent or no. Try selective at recyclage. In the opening document, Isabel talks about the sorting out, le tri des déchets ménagers, and recycling of household garbage. Recyclage des ordures. We shall now develop this theme through a series of activities. Hint: a few useful words: la terre, environment, le tri equals earth, equals environment, selection to select to sort out. Le recyclage or recycler equals recycling, to recycle, fabrica, equals to make, les déchets, les ordures equals garbage, jeter, equals to throw. Does this document create awareness about the protection of environment? Look at the title of the document. Pour recycler, Illinois Fort Triasad Smiley. How does the structure, Illinois Fort, change the meaning of the message? Why are there 3 different bins? In fact, the blue and the yellow bins are usually kept at home, while the container, the green, is seen in the city. In India, you can also find recycling bins in cities. Activity 15, IGNOU, do you recycle the garbage in your country? In your city? What do you think about the idea of separating different kinds of garbage? Do you think it is a good idea to recycle the garbage? Why? Page 94, hint. This is an oral activity where you will express your views on this particular topic. Since it will be in the debate form, you need to speak for or against the topic. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.